Hey, what's going on, people? It's SGZ here from the SpartanGameZone, and in this video I'll be showing you another 10 must-have legendaries that you should have at level 60. We are blessed now with many great guns in Borderlands 3, and if you're done farming the first 10, then here's another 10 great legendary weapons that you want at level 60 to ensure an easier time on Mayhem 10. I'll be telling you what makes them so good, where you can get them, and how you can reach their maximum damage potential. If this video helped you out, I'd appreciate you helping me out by dropping a like, and let's crack into it. We open part 2 of 10 must-have legendaries at level 60 with the Reflux, one of the newly added base game guns that you can only get from Genevieve while fighting on Mayhem 6 or above. If you're wondering where to find Genevieve, she's located here at the very end of the crashed ship in Voracious Canopy. The Reflux is basically the Brainstormer, same manufacturer, shoots and acts the same, but it's pretty much better in every way. Instead of only coming in shock, it always comes in corrosive, which is arguably worse, but there's no arguing about the damage it deals, as it's close to twice as strong. Needless to say, it's extremely powerful, taking on crowds of enemies with ease thanks to its unique effect. It spits out corrosive ties that lash on to nearby enemies, draining their health and dealing a boatload of damage. The more ties that are bound to your opponents, the more damage it'll deal, and there's certainly no shortage of damage here. Of course, it's better against armored opponents, but it has no trouble tearing through shielded and flesh targets as well. It really is a force to be reckoned with, and it also receives a small critical damage boost thanks to it being manufactured by Hyperion. Overall, it's a great gun that's perfect for handling crowds. Next to arrive is the Proprietary license, a Hyperion SMG that can come in any of the elements, and has an increased chance to drop from Hydrogorian, who you can find here in the Obsidian Forest. The Proprietary license is a powerful weapon exclusive to DLC 3, and is completely unique in how it behaves. Usually legendary weapons have one key standout trait that sets it apart from all the others, but the Proprietary license has 4 that, although aren't unique in themselves, certainly are when you merge them together. It's like some scientists took the no delay 4-round burst from a Dahl Nighthawken, the stickies from Torg, ricocheting bullets from Jacobs, and elements from Maliwan, and put that into a Hyperion embryo. Nurtured it for a few weeks or however long guns last until they hatch, and it birthed this thing. It has high DPS and fires quicker than you would expect, with critical hits rewarding you the most thanks to its Jacobs trait. When you land criticals, all hell breaks loose, ricocheting bullets dart around, and the constant explosions will have your enemies fried in no time. It really is a great gun that may not be one for the purists, but it certainly deals heavy damage, and who doesn't like the sound of firing 4 guns for the price of 1? Up next is the Hellshock, which has been a great pistol since its initial buff, but is now even better thanks to the overall pistol buff a couple of weeks ago. It has an increased chance to drop from Gigamind, who you can fight around here in the Meridian Metroplex. The Hellshock is a Maliwan gun that always comes in fire and shock elements that you can change between depending on who you're up against, and the bullets will also change elements themselves when they hit a surface, ricocheting in the alternative element. It fires at a rapid pace, allowing it to tear through shields and flesh extremely quickly, and although it'll need to be charged first, what comes next is a barrage of bullets. The recoil can be difficult to keep a grasp on, varying up and to the side quite substantially, but when enough of your shots land, there isn't many enemies that'll survive. Because of its heavy recoil, it is best used in close to medium ranges, and it will chew through ammo fairly quickly. Nevertheless, it's a fantastic pistol, has been my favourite for a long time, and I highly recommend you get one for yourself. Moving on now to the Calcin, a dull SMG that can come in any element, including non-elemental, and can only be dropped by Captain Traunt, who you fight here at the very end of Athenas, when you're on Mayhem 6 or above. The Calcin was nerfed recently, making it about 30% worse than it used to be, but it's still a great SMG nonetheless, and that's a credit to it. It comes with a couple of firing modes that you can switch between, and you'll want one of those to be fully auto. It's pretty much the boomer from DLC 1 but taken up a couple of levels and beyond. It fires quickly, deals good damage, and that damage is done in 2 stages, once when they hit your target and then a few seconds when they explode. The majority of its damage happens when they explode, and because it deals splash damage, modes will be able to take that damage up a notch. You can also crit swap with it thanks to the delay in the explosions, and that allows you to boost its damage by over 400% if you have a trick Unforgiven. It's a neat tactic to be aware of and is well suited to it. It isn't very accurate though, it used to be, but thanks to its huge accuracy nerf, it isn't anymore and means hip firing really isn't worth it. You can if you're close, but you'll get a lot more out of it if you aim down sights. Overall, the Calcin is not as good as it once was, but it's still a great gun, and its damage pattern gives it a point of difference from many other fully automatic weapons. Coming up next, it's the Beacon, another melee wand pistol, but this one can come in all the elements. It's exclusive to DLC 3 and has an increased chance to drop from Jarek Logan, who you fight around here in Blood Sun Canyon. The Beacon is pretty much the Hellshock from the base game, but isn't limited to just shock and fire elements, and it also deals splash damage. That's a recipe for a great gun, and it is. The Beacon tears through enemies at the same rapid pace, and the splash damage helps it to expand the force of each shot. Again, modes can leverage that, and there really is nothing not to love about the Beacon. Because it comes in all of the elements, you can get the right one for every situation, and it will never let you down. To add to that, it also releases elemental novas each time you reload, which enhances its cool factor. The Krakatoa is another gun that you want to have at level 60. It has an increased chance to drop from the Rampager, who you fight in the Forgotten Basilica. Not only is the Krakatoa a powerful sniper rifle that hits hard, but it also has an unusually high fire rate. Those things combined enable it to drain health bars incredibly quickly, especially against flesh targets. It always comes in Incendiary, which is one of the better elements, and enables it to kill many enemy types in just a few seconds. You can treat it just like you would a normal automatic gun, and that's a huge plus, although you will find yourself running out of ammo quickly, but it spends that ammo just as good as any other gun. It also spawns small volcanoes out of the bodies of dead enemies. They spit balls of magma periodically, covering the floor beneath in lava and dealing splash damage. It's more of a spectacle than anything else, and as you can see from this little passage here, I find them to be more trouble than they're worth. Up next is another shotgun, this time the Robin's Call, manufactured by Jacobs. It can never come in an element and has an increased chance to drop from Garrett and Lodge, who you fight around about here in Ashfall Peaks. The Robin's Call is another of the growing list of Jacobs weapons that return bullets to your magazine on critical hits, allowing accurate players to never waste time reloading. That time spent reloading is best spent shooting, everyone knows that, and the Robin's Call can deal some serious damage. It fires in a 2-shot burst, and that's enough to put some heavy dents into your target's health bar. It also ricochets bullets on critical hits, and it's not just 1 or 2, it's a lot, and that can be amplified if you're playing on a Ricochet Amara. If you want the most powerful version, you want one with the highest pellet count, up into the teens, and it's a great gun, especially for anyone rocking fadeaway flak. Pulling up now, it's the Unseen Threat, a powerful Jacob sniper rifle exclusive to DLC 2, and it has an increased chance to drop from a March, who spawns right about here in Curse Haven. The Unseen Threat fits its name to a T. Enemies don't see what's coming until it's too late and they're already dead. Critical hits deal mammoth amounts of damage, and they don't just cause a single bullet to ricochet, but 3 small rockets which home in and hunt down your enemies. It's extremely powerful, great value for ammo, and if you ever want to one-shot something, then this is the gun for you. Now onto the unkempt Herald, another weapon from DLC 3 that has an increased chance to drop from Cabadord, who you fight in this area of Blood Sun Canyon. Like most guns, it can come in any element, but unlike most Torgue weapons, it can only be set to explode on impact. The standard version will consume 3 ammo per shot, but you can get one that will consume 4 with added projectiles. Like the unkempt Herald from Borderlands 2, the projectiles are fired in a linear pattern and grow wider apart the further they travel. They aren't all visible until they travel a short distance, making it less powerful at point blank ranges, and means if you want to reach its peak damage, you'll need to be a few meters away so all the projectiles hit. When you find that sweet spot, it's sweet alright, and the unkempt Herald has no problem blowing its way through mobs and bosses. The projectiles also travel quickly, raising its DPS, and because of the sheer number of them, each shot has a massive impact. We end with the Maggie, a no-nonsense pistol that has an increased chance to drop from tremendous wrecks, the final boss of the Cistern of Slaughter. He's a pain to farm, and you might be better off just looking for the Maggie as a world drop. The Maggie is your trusty steed in gun form. It's a shotgun pistol that fires 6 pellets, each dealing high damage, and it also has a large magazine for what it is, sitting at 9. Critical hits with the Maggie are incredibly strong, and there's no fire rate cap, so as long as your finger isn't tired, you can blitz opponents. It also has the typical Jacob's ricochet effect as an added bonus. It's great at proccing kill skills on a bounty hunter flak or a seeing dead Zane, but its multiple pellets also help you to reach the cap on artifacts like the Pearl of Ineffable Knowledge quicker than you would otherwise. You only need to land 3 shots to get the full 105% damage bonus, and it's a solid gun all round that rewards you by hitting hard when you land criticals. So that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned of another 10 great legendary weapons that you should have at level 60. If you did, consider dropping a like or subscribing, and I'll catch you in the next one.